What is up? Welcome back to Top 10 Wednesday? That's right, y'all. I didn't get this video up in time, and that is because life got extremely busy for the past week. Actually, didn't even have a day off in the last, 6-7 days, so it's just been straight work. But it's okay, because here I am making the video, and this video is going to be a doozy, because in this video we're going to be talking about the top 10 games I am looking forward to playing the most this year, and there is no better time to play them than at Dice Tower East, which is coming up next week, and I'm super excited to be going down Dice Tower. So a lot of these games on this list I will be playing at Dice Tower, and when I get back from DTE, I am going to tell you guys all about them and how good they were. But in the meantime, just as a little bit of a preface for the video, there are maybe 2 games on this list that are technically not 2025 games. I think they're 2024, but I still really want to play them, and they're really hard to find in 2024. And yeah, we're gonna get into this list, but shout out an honorable mention to a game that I wanted to play this year called Defenders of the Wild. And Defenders of the Wild is such a cool looking game. It kind of looks like Catan. And I wonder if there was maybe some, I don't know which is the right word to use here, but you know what I'm trying to say, because it looks very similar. But this game came out in 2024, but I've never played it. I've been wanting to play it, haven't found a copy of this game anywhere. And let me know if you have a copy of this game, or if something happened. Maybe they got, I don't know. Let's not talk about it. And then second game that I wanted to add to this list, but I didn't realize that it was a 2026 game, was the game Excalibur. I was really hoping to play that at DTE, but they aren't going to have a copy of it. So I'm like, man, rip a Rooney. Was there any other games I was missing? Yeah, it was just those 2 that they're not going to have. Let me see. Yep, that was it. Excalibur is a 2026 game. Maybe I can get a copy. Hey, if you are the creators of Excalibur and you see this video, or you know the creators of Excalibur, tell them to send me a review copy so I can include it on my list. But anyways, that's it for my honorable mentions. Let's go ahead and get into this list. My number 10 is a game called Toy Battle. Toy Battle is a very interesting game. So if you take a look at it, it is a 2-player game that has area control, hand management, a couple of other things. Basically, you're just commanding your toy troops across land, sea, air, and even space in a quick little tactical duel. Because it only plays with 2 players, you get to place units strategically, claim territory, block your opponents, or strike at their headquarters, and with each troop having unique effects and victory hinging on smart movement chains, Toy Battle delivers a compact but punchy skirmish experience, perfect for head-to-head play. And so this game looks incredible. I think Dice Tower was recommending it, and it's just a cool little 2-player skirmish game that looks amazing. I mean, if you see all of the components and things like that, I love all of the way the different boards and the pieces look. Definitely want to try this one because it's been getting some pretty good reviews. Let's look at the next game on my list, number 9. And this one's kind of funny because I actually have a copy of this game. Shout out to Spielcraft Games for sending me a copy of this game to go ahead and do a review of it. I haven't gotten the chance to play it, man. It's been very light on my end. I think one of the things is that there's so many games that I want to review, but I just can't get together and play these games. We ended up having to cancel our monthly event, so it's actually been a very long time since I've been able to even sit down and play a game. But I have a copy of Cretaceous Rails, and I've been wanting to play it. Cretaceous Rails is a 1 to 4 player game. It's got worker placement, route building, some tableau building, resource management. You lay track in the prehistoric past, build rail lines through the Cretaceous jungle, ferry tourists to see dinosaurs, and construct attractions to boost your abilities. With dual action worker placement and creative combo building, this time-traveling park simulator blends Euro mechanics with theme-rich charm. And one of the most beautiful things about this game that I'm really want to check into is the worker placement. The way that it works is that you're placing a worker on this little hex grid of a 4x4 grid of these little action tiles, and as you place a worker, you're going to place it between 2 squares, and when you do, you can take those 2 actions. The cool part is that every square has 4 sides. I know that sounds self-explanatory, but because each square has 4 sides, there are 4 different actions attached to any single square at a time. So it's like, even though somebody might have put the worker where you want it to place it, there might be that same combo setup somewhere else on that grid. And it's just so interesting to see that the way these things look. And again, I haven't played the game yet, but I'm looking forward to playing it because it just looks really, really cool. The next game on my list, my number 8, is Transgalactica. And this one comes with a huge like red flag on it because it's already getting review bombed on BGG. And I say it's getting review bombed because I don't think the game is actually that bad, but it's rated at a 6.7. And again, I understand the BGG system and how it works, and I also am on the side where there's people that say I don't like the way the BGG system works, but hey, it is what it is for now. But at the same time, one of the reasons that it's getting review bombed is for the same reason that Sand got kind of bombed, was because the rule book was just so atrocious for Sand, and I hear that Transgalactica has the same issue. Now, while that may be the case, and I don't like saying devil's advocate when it comes to this, but I guess that's the best way to put this. I'm going to have to play devil's advocate for a second. One of the things about Devir Games is that they get a lot of developers that are not from the United States, and so a lot of the stuff that they develop, if you've ever bought a Devir game, you should know this because you get a rule book in pretty much every language that exists on our little tiny blue and green world. But yeah, and obviously you get a bunch of rule books, and these rule books are translated from a different language where they were originally. And so some of that translation isn't put together right. And there may be a deeper issue than that because I've never really had that issue because I never bought Sand, so I didn't know, because a lot of the other Devir games that I've played don't have that issue. But from what I've heard, Transgalactica suffers from a bad rule book, but other than that, I've heard some people say that it's got a really cool, interesting, game mechanism. It's 1 to 4 players. Basically, it's got a little bit of worker placement, engine building, and a couple of tech upgrades and stuff like that. Compete as rival captains racing to expand your influence across the galaxy. You assign leaders to powerful actions, then watch others follow. Build fleets, mine plants, send diplomats, and gain tech as you chase military, political, and commercial dominance. An engine-building space opera packed with interaction and tactical decisions. This game looks great. I just love the way that this game is put together, and so I'm hoping that this game pans out. I know that they're going to have it at the hot games tables, and typically there's usually somebody there who's going to teach the game that's already kind of played it, and that can be hit or miss sometimes, because sometimes the person teaches you well and sometimes the person teaches you because they know the rules, so they're just not a very good teacher. I've had bad experiences and good experiences in conventions learning how to play games, so I'm hoping that doesn't ruin it for me. Either that, or we're going to have to pick up that rule book and figure out how this game works, or maybe that issue was resolved. Maybe that was a few versions of the game that came out. But anyways, that is my number 8. My number 7, Deep Regrets. This is a game that I own as well. As a matter of fact, I got it right here on the table. Deep Regrets. So, Deep Regrets is a push your luck, dice allocation, set collection, resource management game. Basically, you cast your lines into the depths of this nightmare ocean in this horror-themed fishing game. You catch bizarre, valuable fish, or unleash monsters, madness, and tons of regret. Roll tackle dice to size up shoals, take risks for bigger rewards, and carefully manage mounting insanity. Stylish, strategic, and dripping with dark humor, it is unlike any fishing game you've ever played. And I love the way this game just looks. I've already opened it up and I've seen the dice. The dice are really cool. They look like little bobbers when you go fishing. They're like 4-sided dice, but you roll them and they kind of like roll like a 4-sided dice. I guess I don't know how to really explain that, but it's very, very interesting. The one thing I've heard about this game that it takes a lot of luck, and that it's like very like flippant with the luck and stuff like that. And Dice Tower didn't seem to enjoy this game, but from what I see, it's getting rave reviews from a lot of people that really just enjoy the game. But I guess we'll find out at Dice Tower how this game is. So that is my number 7, Deep Regrets. My number 6 is Bombbusters. Bombbusters is a 2 to 5 player cooperative game where you use deduction, hidden information, and a cool mission system. The countdown has begun. Can your bomb squad cut the right wires in time? Collaborate under pressure, guess your teammates' hidden numbers, and defuse bombs across 66 unique missions. Simple to learn but tricky to master, Bombbusters blends deduction, memory, and timed tension into a fun and frantic co-op experience. And so I'm really really looking forward to playing this game because it's got a lot of the stuff that I like. I love pure deduction games, and one of my favorite pure deduction games is Turing Machine, which was amazing. I like, there's like social, I like deduction, period. Social deduction is great. I love pure deduction games like Search for Planet X, where you have to kind of use like logic to figure out certain things. This game just looks really, really cool, and I love the graphic design on this. Whoever did the artwork for it did a very, very good job. It's very cute, very nice, but I hear it is an insane game, and I'm really, really looking forward to playing this. And I love cooperative games, so maybe that's just me. Next on my list, my number 5 is Cichlides, the Legendary Edition. Cichlides is a 2 to 6 player game which uses an auction bidding system, area control, modular boards, and variable player powers. Wage divine war across ancient Greece with gods, monsters, and heroes. The Legendary Edition refreshes the beloved Cichlides system with streamlined bidding, a modular map, and new god powers. Secure favor from Olympus to summon mythological beasts, wage war, and construct metropolises in this beautifully reimagined blend of tactics and mythology. Cichlides is a game that I have been looking forward to playing. I have a copy of the game. I don't have the Legendary Edition, but I've been wanting to play my copy of the game for forever. And what better way than to just play the Legendary Edition, which they're going to have there at Dice Tower. And the cool thing about Cichlides that I'm really interested in playing it is that it's the last of the trilogy that I need to play of that trilogy, which I believe is Inish, Kemet, and Cichlides. And so I'm really looking forward to finishing the Matagoat trilogy, and hopefully I can play this Legendary Edition, which looks really, really awesome. My number 4 is Misborn, the deck building game. This game plays 1 to 4 players. It uses a deck building system, kind of like most deck builders, with variable player powers, and they've got solo, co-op, and competitive modes. Step into the world of Brandon Sanderson's Misborn as iconic heroes battling the Lord Ruler. You burn medals to unlock powers, you build your deck with allies and tactics, and choose how to win through missions or just raw combat. With flexible play modes and thematic mechanics, it's a must-play for fans of fantasy and fast-paced strategy. And as a fan, a really big fan of Brandon Sanderson, by the way, this guy doesn't just play board games, he loves playing video games, anime, watching movies, watching TV shows, but also reading books. And I've already read the Era 1 of the Misborn trilogy, and I absolutely loved it. I cannot recommend this book series enough. If you are looking for a good way to get into reading sci-fi fantasy, man, Brandon Sanderson does such a good job in his writings. Do not start with any of his other books, though. Start here at Misborn. Misborn is his most approachable series. It's a really cool world where you swallow metals, and when you ingest metals, it gives you like a certain, well, you have a certain power, and by ingesting the metals, you can use those powers. And it's such a cool like magic system that I recommend anybody who's interested in like magic, books and things like that. This is a really cool system. Kind of reminds me a little bit of like an X-Men kind of thing, like if everybody was like Magneto but had cool magnetism powers. It's such a cool game, and the deck builder seems like it's going to be awesome. I really do want to play this, but again, it's one of those things where it's like it'll probably spoil the books for you, so it's best not to just play the game. It's better if you're a fan of the games. So that's one thing that I've noticed about, I think it's Brotherwise that made this game. This is another game that I own. This is a 2024 game, but I haven't got a chance to play it. But it's been sitting on my shelf, and I've been wanting to play it, but nobody's read the books, so it's hard to want to play a game with somebody who, especially people that you're trying to get to read the books. Like, I want you to read the book, but I also don't want to play this game with you because I don't want it to ruin the book for you. So that's it for my number 4. My number 3 is Wondrous Creatures. This 1 to 4 player game has a blend of worker placement, tableau building, combo chaining, and a couple of other things. Build the world's greatest creature reserve using clever hex-based worker placement and powerful creature synergies. Over 100 uniquely illustrated cards bring strategic depth and personality to each game. As terrain evolves and workers gain abilities, you'll uncover massive combos in this beautiful and brainy experience. This game is beautiful looking. All you have to do is just see pictures, and immediately it makes you want to play this game so much. I immediately saw the components and said, man, this game looks so well produced. And there's always the likelihood that a game can just look nice but really has no depth. I can't think of a lot of games that are like that. Only game I could probably think of is maybe Fractured Sky. I enjoy playing Fractured Sky, but for a lot of people, it becomes kind of samey after a while, but then they paid like $200 for the deluxe edition. So it's like this beautiful game that people don't play that often. I think the new expansion they added to it added a little bit more longevity to the game for me, but I still like Fractured Sky. I think Fractured Sky is still one of my favorite games, but yeah, that's a game that's like really, really pretty, but it's not that deep, you know what I mean? But it's very, very good. Who knows? Wondrous Creatures could be like that, but from what I can see, it looks like it plays really well, and it looks like it has a really cool experience, and the worker placement is very interesting. And so I don't know, man, it could just blend in, you know, it could just be, hey, the worker placement's just kind of vanilla, or maybe the worker placement is supreme, kind of like the worker placement for Raiders of the North Sea, where you place a worker and then take a worker, and you get to take the actions at both of those places. That's cool. I like when people take workers, or the worker placement in Holotype, where you have the small, medium, and large workers, and it's like each worker is like a certain tier and can give you like certain bigger benefits for each one, and then they can bump other people's workers back to their hand. But when you give them back to your opponent, they can reuse them, and without doing the recall action, which kind of wastes a turn. So it's like you got to be careful how you worker place. I like games that make the worker placement unique. Let's see how this one does. All right. My number 2 is the Lord of the Rings Fate of the Fellowship. Now, if you don't know what this game is, it is a 1 to 5 player cooperative play, scenario-based missions. It's got character powers. This game is basically just Pandemic with Lord of the Rings, but they've done something different this time around, and I guess changed a lot in how the game kind of functions. Although the core system might be the exact same, it is very, very interesting. So you're going to walk the path of the Fellowship in this narrative-driven co-op adventure, control pairs of iconic characters, evade the Nazgul, and guide Frodo to Mount Doom through branching scenarios and replayable objectives. With a mix of tactical combat and emotional storytelling, this game captures the spirit of Tolkien's epic journey. So Lord of the Rings, Fate of the Fellowship, or another way of putting it, Pandemic, Lord of the Rings. But will it be better than Pandemic? Probably, because Pandemic has gotten old over the years. Will it be better than Pandemic Legacy? Probably not. It's probably like the best Pandemic experience you can get. But I did like the Pandemic version of Star Wars, the Clone Wars version. That was really good, and I like the way they implemented the system where the cards, you know, you kind of use them and then you can put them down and then check them when you use them and then kind of ready them up again after you play them. It kind of gave use to the cards other than collecting them in your hand, and then whenever you need to cure a disease, you kind of just chuck them all in the discard pile or use them to fly places. Like, I feel like they've change that to make the game a lot better. So let's see how the Lord of the Rings one fares. I know that the reviews of it are decent, but they're not like 8s or anything like that. Like, it's not the next best game of all time, but I think it's in like the 7 range. But I'm like curious. I'm like, how many people have actually played this game? Because I feel like I haven't really seen this game anywhere. So we'll see. We will see. We shall see. All right. And my number 1, this is a 2024 game, so boo, bah, humbug. I got you guys. But number 1 game that I want to play Kelp, man. Kelp, Shark versus Octopus. It is a 2-player game that's asymmetric, where somebody's playing as an octopus and another player is playing as the shark. And the shark is kind of hunting for the octopus, and the octopus is hidden and moving around the map and trying to get away. But this game is really cool because it has asymmetric play. It's got deck building, dice bag building, bluffing, and a whole bunch of interesting mechanics, all in a 2-player game. And I love 2-player games because, it's just me and my wife at the house. And so having 2-player games on hand that she loves is going to be great. And so I'm hoping this one is fun. I think that it is, because you can never get a copy of this. And the few that I found they do it like a, what do you call that? They do a board game garage sale at Dice Tower East, and a couple of these games went up on the listings, and I missed it every single time. Not a single person was haggling on this game. Everybody was like, how much do you want? $70 bin. And I'm like, come on, man. Like, it was so hard to find a copy of this game, but it looks so cool, and I've been wanting to play this game for a long time. I'm hoping I could buy a copy, but it looks great. Kelp, Shark versus Octopus. Excited. That's my number 1. So anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. I try to add some descriptions for each game and try to make it a little more cinematic and things like that. But you tell me if that worked out well or not, or if I'm just really bad at reading off a script. So anyways, thank you guys for tuning into this video. I'm excited for Dice Tower, and I can't wait to play all of these games. They're all going to be there. That is confirmed. I already looked them all up in the library to make sure they were going to be there. And yeah, I'm excited to play all of these. But let me know in the comment section, what games are you looking forward to most in the year 2025? What games are coming out for me personally? Just going to be honest here, because I have to make content, but I'm in a bit of a slump. I haven't played board games in a while, and honestly, haven't been wanting to. It's been really difficult for me to like lock into the hobby. And when I was thinking about going to Dice Tower, I was so excited like all year long for when Dice Tower came around. And then when it came time, all my friends are making a list and they're like, oh, I want to play this and I want to play this. And I was like, is it weird that I'm just don't really want to play anything? Like, I'm like, what games am I actually looking forward to here? Like, I have my list, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, I don't know, maybe is 2025 not a good year for games, or am I off? Are some of these games really going to be that good, or is 2025 kind of a slump, man? I feel like I was excited for more games last year than I was for this year. I don't know what it is, man. It's just a little weird. But anyways, pray for your boy, because maybe, just maybe, I might get out of this slumps just in time for Dice Tower. So I'm excited to play these games. I really am. And just spend time with my friends, which is awesome. So, and if you're going to Dice Tower East, let me know in the comments section and I will see you there. And if you see me in person at DTE, just come talk to me, man. I'm like super cool. I am not going to give you the cold shoulder or act weird around you. I am, you know, just another gamer, just a 9-to-5 gamer like you. So please come talk to me and I'll see you guys at the convention. See you guys later. Peace out.